how's it going, universe? Welcome to another episode of Zoobox Live for May 19th, 2021. Time, it keeps on a rolling. I'm joined again with my forever co-host, Dan. How's it going?
What's up, man? What's up, Prophet? Just sorry, I got distracted.
Oh my God, this is like Zoobox Live? Holy
yeah, it
fuck,
is,
we're
dude.
back from
Listen,
the band
man, I can't look
again.
at the chat. I can't look at the chat. It's too confusing. I get too caught up in it.
Too confused. The two
lose
people
the moment.
There, the two people there.
I mean, yeah, the two guys. It's just too much going on.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it would be better if there were just more, because then you don't feel so obligated. If it's like thousands, like because like when it's thousands of people, they can't expect you realistically to keep up with everything.
Yeah, I look forward to the day where it's like kind of not.
You like 400.
Then I'll just have Prophet just message me on like Facebook Messenger if he's got comments to make, and he can just have his own comment thread.
I got this new beer that I just saw at Walmart. It was on sale.
Purple Haze.
Purple Haze Raspberry Lager, which it did not sound good, but it was on sale. It's usually like $22, and it was out there for like 15 or 12 or something, which is still a lot for a 12. It's a 6-pack too. That's like the heartbreaking part.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. That Walmart brand.
That's why I swore off those things. That's why I stopped buying that shit. It's like, then you're stuck with a ton of it. How is it?
I don't hate it. It's very subtle raspberry. It's not as sugary as I was thinking, or it'd be. Listen, I'm not a beer guy, hoppy or whatever, but I feel like surprisingly not gross.
Well, that's all beers now. It's all about the hoppiness. It's all about the alcohol by volume content. That's what they all go for now, like the highest alcohol volume content possible. And it doesn't usually make for like a great beer. It's not always enjoyable to drink.
There is, we used to go to this place in Colorado. I think it was called the Crown Pub or something to that. It's an old Irish bar. That's what it's designed. It's got like this dark oak wood. It's a cool place to hang out. And my buddy Pat, which Sean knows, we go down there and we're drinking beer. It's like 11% or something and you drink two of these, and that's just a 12 ounce. You get two of those. I mean, you're like after.
You got a good buzz.
I don't know. Like it was probably 16 ounce glasses, let's say, but like still, you get two of those, like you are okay. Like you gotta go walk around for a little while, because like you're just getting fucked up. But I'm not the biggest beer guy, but I do enjoy a beer. I don't know. Like, I don't like just drinking beer. But if I'm out, I will drink beer.
Yeah, that's about the only time if I go to a restaurant, I'll get a beer, but that's about it.
No, I mean, if I'm going out strictly to get drunk, I'm going with beer.
Well, bar prices, yeah, dude. It costs you a fucking small fortune to go drink liquor all night.
It's not the bar prices that are the issue. It's just a slippery slope. Once you start drinking liquor, it just like, and it's just, you just tumble.
You can't control it, is what you're saying.
Well, you can, but
you can't regulate.
You gotta nip it.
That's a lot harder, especially if the booze if it's going down smooth and it's just flowing, dude. And before you know it, you're like, oh my God, I can't even walk. I can't even stand up or talk.
Probably the drunkest I ever got was off of Long Island. It's one of the drunkest moments of my life where I literally had 3 or 4, and I was just gone for like, I didn't really know what happened. Next thing I'm in a strip club, there's titties everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Banging girls in bathrooms. You're like, this is a fucking Long Island's really, bring it out of me anyway.
One of the drunkest times I ever got was a mixed drink. It's called the Zombie. There's like 6 different types of rum in it. And I was down in Cancun for my 18th birthday, or around my 18th birthday. And there's a pool bar. There's a bar inside of the pool at the resort. And I'm just sitting there just sucking these things down like they're fucking candy. Like they're lemonade. And
probably didn't even taste like alcohol.
Dude, I couldn't even get out of the pool. People had to help me out of the fucking pool.
Yeah, that happened to our father. Same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was
like father like son, I think it was. And I think that's why he suggested it, because he thought it would be funny if I embarrassed myself.
Did we? I thought you went first.
Am
I not mistaken? I thought he took us last.
I know, but he had, he went there like a bunch of times.
This is like the
years of opulence. The year when our family was like upper middle class for a hot 4
Upper
years.
middle class,
3
yeah, for
years.
sure. We were on that was a good time. Good times. Like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, the buying power of that same amount of money today is not the same. It's not equivalent, to what they were making. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't make crazy money, but
No, I mean, I think they did pretty dang good.
they did okay for sure. I mean, they comfortably lived, and they had the things that they wanted.
Yeah.
They went on vacations on the reg. I mean, but that's after like years of being married and being together and not being able to do any of those things. So my dad went kind of like crazy. He's like buying Harley Davidsons and Ford Excursions and fucking going on vacations every other month. And
the most dangerous thing you can do to a poor person is give them money.
yeah, they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know what to do. They're like, I wanted all of these things for so long.
So like all these
like when you get your
UBI
taxes
people,
back. It's when you get your taxes back. It's the same thing. You're like, fuck, all year I've wanted to buy these. Now I can't.
Like sometimes, like me and my friend today, we got into, I wouldn't say an argument. My buddy Tanner and I, we go on back. He is so smart. So he really challenges me, I guess, my ideas.
Sure.
And
yeah.
I don't know if you've been listening to, if you listen to I know you haven't because you don't listen to Joe Rogan. He had this guy on the other day. I can't remember his name right now, but something called Mental Immunity. It's a book he wrote. And this guy kind of gave me some weird vibes because of his stuff on like free speech. He's like, no, like we should kind of restrict things. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, I want to get his name right. Let me just look it up real quick. He's Andy Norman. Yeah, Andy Norman. He teaches philosophy and directs the Humanism Initiative at Carnegie Mellon University.
Yeah.
So he's an interesting guy, but he was in like, you need to have your ideas challenged. And so I think it was Socrates or Aristotle said, if your ideas can't stand up to scrutiny, then it's probably not worth continuing down that path.
Sure. Makes sense. I mean, we all have ideas. We all have thoughts. Then once you put it out in the public square, that's why it's so important, like, to actually talk to people about the things you think, because you don't really know. You're in a vacuum of your own mind,
Yeah, and his concept of mental immunity is pretty interesting. I don't know if I agree with everything he said, but I mean, it's fair.
Mental immunity, infectious ideas, mind parasites, and the search for a better way to think.
Yeah, and that was something I really wish Joe would have pushed harder on him, because he kind of gets into this weird area where he goes like, well, look at QAnon, look at this idea and that idea, and he goes like, maybe there is some regulatory thing that you can do to prevent this type of thing from happening, and he just didn't really push hard on it. He did a little bit, enough to get the guy know that it kind of bothered him, but not enough to really get into like the nitty gritty. What do you mean by regulatory? Who gets to decide what, like, it's all about who's in power. And
yeah, because you get in the weeds in that way. And I think it seems like that show, for the most part, is just not really that anymore. He doesn't really do that a ton with like certain types of people. He won't. I mean, this guy's like not like a nobody. And you kind of defer.
This Andy guy, you mean?
I guess, like, you defer a little bit to his expertise, and what are you gonna do? Get in like a argument with him about something maybe has a little better handle on than you, and you make yourself look stupid? I guess, I don't know.
Well, I think anytime when it's the question is to ban ideas or ban thoughts, I think, and it's the same argument people make for critical race theory. Why would you have to ban an idea? Ban something, it's a fair criticism that people make.
About what?
About critical race theory.
What, that they want to just like completely
ban it from schools,
whitewash certain concepts, ideas, thoughts, educators, books.
Right, like they're saying that you can't teach this in public schools, which, going to the 1964 Civil Rights Act, it seems pretty clear that you shouldn't be able to teach race-based or any type of discrimination, which is inherently what critical race theory tries to accomplish.
Well, I think in a broad sense, yeah. I mean, it's like kind of a little bit, we've talked about it before, it's like a little bit of kind of backward segregationist kind of thinking. Instead of coming together as a community or as a nation, you're supposed to identify yourself by an immutable characteristics, and then that's your tribe, and you should do whatever you can to support the tribe. And well,
I mean,
unless you're white, because you're not an oppressed class, because they view it as like the oppressed class has the right. It was actually I watched a movie today that was going to be for an upcoming Zoobox Goes to the Movies, Do the Right Thing, the Spike Lee movie from the late 80s, early 90s. And,
Fergie Goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, and well, no, he was a Hollywood movie. It was like a Universal.
Yeah,
movie. Yeah. And he uses a quote from Malcolm X, where Malcolm X is like, I don't advocate violence, but I also don't consider self-defense violence. So when you frame everything in that way, you can get away with a lot,
Well, I mean, I think that's what we saw over this past year with the riots. It was deemed as racial self-defense, defense of others. That's how the media framed it. That's, how a lot of people in our higher esteemed establishment, academia, and like these agencies and these businesses, that's how they frame it as.
Well, it was, and I'll get into it in the podcast. I won't spoil it for everybody here, but it's an interesting movie to watch in light of the past year.
Cool. And what year did it come out?
I think 1990.
So it's definitely an older film. Even when you go back and watch Malcolm X, that's Spike Lee, right? That's the same guy.
Yeah, so I think he made that right after he did Do the Right Thing. It was his next movie.
Right, and you really get into Malcolm X, like as far as I know from the fashionable sense, not like deep intimately. Like I understand the grand overarching opinion of some of Malcolm X's things, but later in life, he contradicted it a lot. Because he was more militant when he was like Nation of Islam. Yeah. Very militant, very, pro segregation, separation.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a black supremacist, black segregationist in the sense that he just thought there was no other way for black people to succeed if they didn't do that.
He's Nick Fuentes. I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's Nick Fuentes, yeah.
But hey, you never know who Nick Fuentes. Hey, Hitler started out as a failing, artist or whatever, arguing with homeless people.
He's a painter, yeah.
Yeah, but I think Malcolm, and this is the biggest problem. I hate this. I can't stand this shit. When I'm watching, someone will be like, "Well, MLK was a socialist, or he liked social welfare programs." This and that. It's like, one, give me in context to what he was talking about. Two, what era? Because I don't know about you, so you tell me.
Okay.
Do you think that your past self, 5-10 years ago, you versus you now, have different ideas, different opinions? Okay, and so do you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna ask, do you feel like that as you age, that those are the ideas that matter more as to what your current state of self is?
Yeah, because you make the assumption, it presupposes that you've lived a life and you've learned from those experiences, right? So you're just more well-equipped, you're just a more well-rounded person.
And that's my main thing is, but when people try to bring these clips of Malcolm X saying A, and then in 1957,
his early career,
and then later in his life, where he and they make them as equal as they're the exact same. Yeah. And I feel like we do a lot of the same with any historical figure. Yep. We do the same thing.
Well, we do this with people, and we've talked about this as well. There's something about the nature of the internet that makes life static. So it doesn't matter if it happened right now or if it happened 10 years ago in your life, right? You'll still be held to account as if you were the same person you were 10 years ago. And we look back at historical figures. I mean, this is something that's always happened. People kind of cherry pick the things that they want, like somebody to be representative of, and they create a monolith. I think Malcolm X, I think Martin Luther King Jr. probably fall into that category pretty regularly.
Yeah, and this is what the Andy Norman guy was kind of talking about is how do you defeat these invasive, destructive ideas in of yourself though, of things that you like how do people get into cults, or why do people believe in like God or like a religion, and how the new modern left has kind of taken this woke theological sense, like that is the most important imperative thing. And it's pretty, and you guys should go check it out. I mean, it is free if you download Spotify. I'm not trying to plug it, but it is, I'm not doing a great job, but his mental immunity idea, I think overarching, is a pretty interesting idea.
I mean, wouldn't his thesis kind of, just from listening to what you've been saying, basically be that you have to expose yourself to as much as possible, and conversation, and sunlight is the best disinfectant. Like, so when you have ideas, they have to be kind of vetted out in the public square. Like when you get into like kind of insular communities, like message boards, like QAnon, right? Those people exist in a vacuum. Those ideas are not out there being argued about with like other, maybe more well-informed people, or maybe not well-informed people, but just other people that are outside of that community. So you have like this circular thing where it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it just feeds itself, because everybody's into the idea that what is being said is the right thing.
Well, like, so me and my friend, we were discussing today, and I've been kind of leaning more towards this, but like maybe nationalism can be a bad thing. Some of the greatest things ever done in the name of like anything is for nationalism. And you can even look at mainly socialism, communism. That is a nationalistic ideal, you know?
Well, that's how they convince a populace to go along with it, right? Because everybody has some form of self-interest. And as a country, you can use a nationalistic perspective, I suppose, to justify doing a lot of bad shit, even say around the world, right? And I think that's what the major criticism of the United States would be, right?
Well, I think we've talked about this before, but what we're seeing the current political spectrum, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, has been a complete battle, like between the parties. Like, I mean, like you see it on full public display every day. And the media is involved, and everyone's involved, Twitter and Facebook and all these groups of people with power. Well, I was thinking about it the other day, and by the way, we have to talk about aliens. I have a theory. I was super fucked up the other night, and like it came to me, and it's never left, and I think I have a good proposition for the future. But what was I saying? Shit. What was I saying?
Well, we were talking about the possible dangers of nationalism, then you kind of circle back to...
Right. So, like, when do you... Like, my buddy said it to me, he goes, listen, when they're not fighting, that's when I'm worried.
When who's not
that's
fighting?
When things... When our government... Like, when they're not infighting, when they're all agreeing on the same thing, he's like, that's when you should be more worried. And I kind of hark back to, like, 9/11.
Well, because then there's exactly the Patriot Act passing and whatnot, because they're not going to be looking out for your best interests anymore. Like, there's nobody to fight or have an argument in the government.
Ron Paul was there.
Well, Ron Paul was there, yeah.
Bernie Sanders was even there. At one point, Bernie Sanders was reasonable.
I suppose Rand Paul would probably be there now. He's the closest thing you have to that. No matter what,
I have a hard time. I don't...
No matter what the consensus is, Rand Paul has like his base principles, and that's how he goes about his business, right?
Yeah.
If I had to pick one person, if you put a gun to my head, it would probably be Rand Paul, that I have at least some sort of respect for. Maybe that's a naivete on my part, or maybe that's a lack of information. I don't know. But from the outside looking in, Rand Paul generally does what Rand Paul wants to do.
And that's something I think most people have respected about Rand Paul. I mean, obviously his neighbors don't like him.
Russian asset, neighbor hater.
Yeah, that guy, I think his neighbor attacked him from behind, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he really hated that guy.
Fucking sucker punched him like a piece of shit.
Nah, good for him.
This is after Rand Paul, also like a year after he gets shot at by a psychopath.
Who was the other guy that got shot? Who's the other guy? He's famous. Kind of a shorter, fat guy, but god dang it, he actually got shot like 3 times, I think, or something to that effect.
Not at the same event.
Yes.
On the baseball diamond? Like when they were playing
Yes.
the softball game or whatever? And
Yeah, a guy got shot. That one of those senators got shot because it was a group of senators that were playing, and
yeah,
he's still in there. He's still voted in. I mean, that gives you at least like 2 or 3 terms.
I guess,
You know,
yeah.
getting shot. You know, each bullet is an extra term. But I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, 9/11, post 9/11. You know, that's when you saw the overarching, what's it called? The overarching authoritarianism, like surveillance state. Edward Snowden released everything. Found out there's actually FISA courts, these secret courts where no one really fucking knows what happens in them. But our government knew about it. Like people in the Congress knew about it. Senate, they must have known about it, right? Did they not?
About the Pfizer courts? I have to
I'm not
imagine.
sure.
Well, maybe it was more of a need to know. I don't know. Do you think somebody
I think
actually
it was probably
go?
a committee.
I mean,
it was probably a committee or something that actually knew about him.
Yeah.
That thing had to be passed into law, right? That had to be voted on, right?
I don't know. I mean, maybe
Good.
it was probably just one of these provisions in the Patriot Act, the 5,000-page Patriot Act that nobody read and voted on.
Yeah. Well, my buddy personally believes that Edward Snowden broke his oath.
A lot of people do. I don't know.
And he goes like, I don't think I'm not gonna do like speak on his behalf, but that's basically he's like he did break his oath. He did do that.
Well, that's a matter of perspective, isn't it?
No, I mean, okay, it's like
If the government is doing something unconstitutional, and you have sworn an oath to the Constitution,
is it unconstitutional?
you didn't swear an oath to the government to be loyal to the government. You swore an oath to be loyal to the Constitution, correct?
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
He did this to me, and I'm a little fucking mad he did it. He fucked me up.
Okay.
So, do you think that the Patriot Act was passed constitutionally?
Probably.
No, I mean it was passed by Congress, right?
Sure, yeah.
That's what happened. Congress passed it.
Doesn't mean they're right.
It was. It doesn't matter. That is not.
No, I know, but
Congress is not to determine if something is constitutional.
Yeah, but we know, but we also know, and we've talked about this a lot. If a law is unlawful and you are asked to execute it, you have every right to say no.
Who determines what's unlawful?
Or unconstitutional?
You as an
correct?
individual? Well, who
if you
determines
have,
that?
If you have the information.
No. Who determines what is unconstitutional? I, as a civilian, normal me, I don't get to determine what is unconstitutional. You've heard of sovereign citizens, Sean.
You can,
They go,
but you can go and do the research and see what is and isn't. It's pretty like straightforward for the most part. Isn't it?
Hold on. No. But see, this is where and this is fair. This is a really fucking fair point. You elect those officials. Those officials act on your behalf. They use the constitutional process to get laws passed. It goes all the way through blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Now, that is not... and I'm thankful for Edward Snowden. I don't think he should go to jail. I think he should be protected.
He's a whistleblower.
Because he did expose some bullshit. But did he break his oath? He did. Because he doesn't determine as an anonymous or just like a part of the machine as whether or not something is constitutional. That has to be handled in the courts. And even though it was secret,
I mean, sometimes when people have disagreements, it goes to the higher courts, but that doesn't mean that you can't unilaterally understand. Like you could be like, oh no, this is unconstitutional, and then it ends up that it kind of is. I mean, isn't that kind of the general consensus that it's a bad thing that
why does it still exist?
Because they don't give a fuck, Dan.
No, because it has not been deemed unconstitutional.
Do you really trust that system to be fair about that? I mean, I'm just saying, honestly.
Has it ever gotten to the highest court in the land? I don't know if it has.
I don't know why. It would be kind of weird that it hasn't. It's kind of a contentious issue.
You would think it would be, and this is where a lot of things are coming into question. Okay, and he goes, and this is some people believe this, that sometimes as a government, the cost of something may be worthy to stop something from happening. Like you having your Fourth Amendment infringed upon to stop. Like, okay, I have a question. What happens if the government came out and said, we have a serious problem with like Chinese Marxist communists like invading every part of our public sphere like they did back in the 50s. If they would have had the authority and the technology and the capability, they probably would have gave the okay in the public eye to go after these types of people. So like, it's wrong. It's fucking wrong. You shouldn't do it. But it took all those years of these people being harassed for their political views or for what they thought was right or wrong. And it took a long time for these ideas to resurface, because at the end of the day, they got the opportunity in the courts, and it went all the way up, you know, for a lot of these. So it's like the Patriot Act happened, what, 15, 16, 18 years ago, whatever, like 2003?
Yeah, and they keep re-upping it, basically. It was supposed to be, I mean, as it was sold to America at first, was like, it's a temporary measure to, you know, to stave off the oncoming
is it like 15
attacks.
days? 15 days to slow the spread?
It's kind of like that, I suppose, yeah. I mean, kind of, in a kind of
we just
in an
need a year.
abstract way.
We need a year, bro. Just give us a year. We'll stop all the terrorism in the world if you give us a year. Like, and I said to my buddy, I was like, listen, like, I understand that, but I would gladly die to keep my privacy. And what I mean is, if a person decided to kill me, and because the government was monitoring all data and all this stuff, and they get like Minority Report type shit, they're like, oh, this person's he texted his friend, I just wish I could kill Dan.
Yeah,
I hate him. Like, that's awful. But the government should not be able to try to predetermine crime. And not to mention, not in a public fashion. If he said that in public, or she said that in public, there would be an argument there because it was a public statement. Everybody heard it and or knew about it. But a private statement, that is when it falls on the responsibility of the individual you're talking to report you.
Yeah, if they actually feel you are a threat, I suppose, and then
well,
they can come and talk. And all they're going to do is come and talk to you. I don't know if it's illegal to do that, is it?
No, it's not necessarily I don't know. I mean,
they could come and check, even if you said it like out in the public, be like, man, I want to fucking axe my bro. Like, I think they would probably just come do like a mental health check, basically, and see where you're at.
There may be certain stipulations, you know, which the Supreme Court just decided on, surprisingly 9-0, which, if you guys don't know how that works, that means 9 people voted against this, what happened to this man. This guy, mental health condition, long story short, and this is 9-0, so that means even the liberal justices, and this is where positive things are being kind of like cookie crumbed along the way to me. Like, this is like a positive thing. So, Fourth Amendment, you have the right to privacy. So long as this guy had a mental health issue, he got arrested for a said issue, or put in a medical facility, mental health. I'm not sure. I can't remember all the circumstances. But afterwards, the police went into his house without a warrant and seized all his guns. And it was called caretaking something or other. I think it was caretaking was definitely used, basically saying we're doing this to take as like a service to the community. We're going in without a warrant. It was deemed that was unconstitutional. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing, because that means they can't just go into your house and just take your guns. Red flag laws kind of just went out the window. Yeah. Because that's what that was. So that's a big win. 2A. Do you know, 1986? Can you guess how many states were constitutional carry? Which means you don't need a permit. You don't need any of that crap. You just carry a gun.
1986, 30.
1. Vermont was the only one in the United States that allowed constitutional carry. Now I think it's 18. 18 or 19 states that allow constitutional carry. If you add up all the other states, it's 45 states that have permit concealed carry. So that's a pretty big win. The country has been moving, and this is something that the NRA maybe has done good, is it's slowly turning states to becoming more 2A friendly, Second Amendment friendly. Mm-hmm. And when you see, and this is what I'm talking about, the infighting between the political parties is good, because what was the one thing in the, probably 70s and 80s that everybody was against back then? What do you think was one of the bigger problems of that era? Being an 80s baby, maybe you would know. I don't know.
That people were against? Like people had
Yeah.
like a government thing that people had a problem with?
Yeah, everyone was against it. Everyone had a big problem with it. You could probably guess. It's like two main things, and they kind of correlate to each other according to the people of that time.
I don't know. You just tell me.
So you have obviously violent crime, period. Whether it's murder, shootings
Yeah,
were a
in
big
urban,
thing.
Yeah, in cities and stuff, yeah.
Right? In which, the culture was kind of becoming
You ever
gun
see
or something.
Death Wish, brother?
Yeah. And drugs. So drugs and the war on drugs and it was just self-perpetuation. So now you're seeing in a pretty short amount of time, people are going, I guess it wasn't the guns weren't the issue. The drugs weren't the issue necessarily. It was something else.
Well, it's culture.
Culture, poverty. I love how people, like I got into an argument with my jiu-jitsu coach about how poor people commit more crime. And I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Maybe smaller infractions, but is it just poor people that are committing crime? Or is it just so happens that the minority of the small people, of the poor people, are the ones committing a majority of the crime? That doesn't mean that it's directly related to poverty.
Well, it is in the sense because, like, if you're, I guess not to be glib or flippant, like if you're less educated, have less access to certain types of opportunities, just live in bad neighborhoods with bad elements that you can't ever really get away from, you're probably more likely to go down a path of crime, like to commit crime. More likely to rob somebody, more likely to steal things, like more likely to end up in a situation where you kill somebody, etc. I mean, that's what you see throughout, I think, most like urban areas. I mean, that seems like it's a kind of a thing. Like, I would say that lack of attention, education, definitely will do that
I
to
say we
people.
ban cities. You
Just
can't.
ban cities.
Every single person in the United States needs to have at least an acre between them and their neighbor.
I don't know if we got enough. I don't know. Do we have enough property?
Most definitely.
A lot of people living in Middle America. Then
You can fit every single person in the world in Texas and give them an acre.
Can you really?
Hmm.
Well, there you go.
I'm just making shit up, but it sounds. I read that once. I don't know if that's true actually, but
We just stack them.
but yeah, but you could legitimately do it. You could. I think there would. What was like, dude? Me and you, maybe we should just go a cross country trip one day, because I don't think we realize how much fucking space there is. It's absurd how much space is out there.
Oh, for sure.
There's no infrastructure.
I mean, yeah, I've been out there. I mean, I've been out to the Midwest.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking
Well, I mean,
wide open out there. I mean,
when you
it's
drive
beautiful.
across the country, you're like, my God, there's like so much nothing.
Feels good, though. Feels awesome.
It makes-
I loved it. I loved it.
I love it too, but you go, like, I mean, it's pretty naturally as a city evolves, like for people to continue to, like in the beginning, it makes sense. If you start a city, everyone condenses because that's where all the resources are. That's where all everything is, and it slowly expands. And people now with technology easily can live an hour away from anybody, like easily, and no problems probably. Most internet, like with Starlink coming up now, like you can be able to get 5G internet pretty much everywhere, supposedly. I believe it's an alien plot to, they're probably just giant laser beams. But I think with technology and the advancement of our society, we're going to see people I think you're kind of start seeing the cities being bled more. Like they're bleeding. Yeah.
If you have them, yeah, and then who's going to be left behind? It's going to be all the, it's going to be just
the poor
like,
people.
It's going to be a poor people. It's going to be like turn into fucking Escape from New York.
Yeah. Well, I think this was a plan, Sean.
It's possible.
I believe it was like, I kind of agree with people saying, oh, well, they'll just drive down all property values because they've become extremely way too high in these cities.
Yeah.
And rich people are going to come in, buy it all up, and then allow things to be better. Like they'll make nicer stuff, and they'll own or be able to sell these in 5 years for triple the price that they or quadruple the price they paid for them.
Yeah.
So I've heard that. And another question, Sean. How the hell does George Soros able to fund people? And how is this so easily tracked? Why is this not illegal? He's not even an American citizen.
Well,
it should be illegal for a foreign national to fucking fund campaigns in in our country. Why is that allowed?
Is he not a U.S. citizen?
Hey Google. Hey Google.
Don't believe Google. It's gonna lie to you.
Hey Google. Is George Soros an American?
American.
Oh, see, Google's fake, bro. DuckDuckGo it is. But sorry guys if I like made your Google machine.
George Soros, American.
Are you using DuckDuckGo? Let's see what I get. What do you think? I don't think he is.
Yeah, he's got dual citizenship, Hungary and the United States.
Shit. Damn it. This fucking sucks then.
No, I mean, but like, you can be, it's not being honest, it's like, what do you call it? A philanthropist. A full-on rapist? If you guys are fans of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, philanthropist. Humanitarian philanthropy.
Maybe they needed, I don't know what it is. There's too much money in our politics. I think it should be illegal to make money. Like to get to like fundraise. Like you have to only fundraise in your district or something. Like you should not be able to get money outside of wherever you're running for.
It's such a weird thing because it's one of those industries that only costs so much because they say it does. Like there's no reason campaign should be hundreds of millions of dollars to run for an office. Like, like how the fuck does that even square, dude? Like you know, yeah, we should just ban political advertising, and the only thing you can do is have flyers, canvassers, and then you go on TV four times, and that's it. That's all you get. That's your shot.
Well, I don't think that's fair because money is speech, and they shouldn't be able to restrict your speech. It's been legally determined by the Supreme Court that money is speech.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. They're wrong.
And like, unfortunately, even though I disagree with George Soros, he does have the right to think and or say what he believes in.
You mean American citizen? You mean American citizen George Soros?
Yes, so I bet he doesn't know shit. Fuck that guy.
That man didn't take no test.
Definitely not.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I think it's kind of it's misleading, man. It's misleading. Like where all this money is really going and the lobbying. It's so much like corrupt shit, but what are you gonna fucking do? What are you gonna fucking do? I don't know.
What do you think in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? Who do you think George Soros is backing? Who do you think he's got the flag for?
I don't think. Well, he helped hunt the Jews in Nazi Germany, so he would definitely be on the Palestinian side of things. Like, and the thing is, how can you be so in love with an idea that you're willing to like spend all this money? It's kind of absurd. Like this guy really believes this shit.
If you got a lot of money, Dan, and it's not gonna break you to do it, it's probably fun to go and socially.
There's no way he has that much money.
It's fun to go socially construct and be a fucking villain. It's probably a blast.
But he must think he's an amazing person.
He sees cities burning. He's just like, give me another scoop of ice cream. It's been a good night.
I don't know.
Trump had 2 scoops. George Soros has 3 scoops. Okay.
So you know, Christy Alley was on Tucker Carlson on Fox Nation.
Yeah, I saw that.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Tucker. She was just talking about depression.
It's just Psycho Hollywood. That's all I saw. Did you see the video of the cop? Well, it's not a good video, but this cop like lifted a car off of a woman. No. Like she got they got in a car accident, and her head so the sunroof was open.
Yeah. And
her head got trapped in the sunroof, when it's upside down.
Ugh.
So her head's getting crushed. And this cop's like, oh, and he just lifts the fucking thing up.
Well, you probably could because of the way, if you're on the roof like that, the leverage of it. You could probably get it
using your head as a hinge point.
Well, you get it up if you can get it up and over where you can kind of roll it a a bit. It's not gonna. I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm just saying.
I don't know, dude. I mean, he fucking moved the car. It was pretty cool. It was just neat to see. It wasn't a truck. It was a smaller vehicle for sure. But a guy lifting up, moving a couple thousand. He's pushing. He's moving. Couple thousand pounds for sure.
Yeah,
he's moving some shit, which there was this video. He was rock climbing,
Yeah.
And like, you know, like they had like, it was like kind of like sheetrock, like not sheetrock, but like shale rock. It was like a shale. And so he went to grab it, and the whole piece of rock, like the whole, like a big chunk, falls on him. And he just goes, and it's like 1,200 pounds. Like instinctually, he just went, "Gah!" and like just threw it off his body. Just like 1,000 pounds. And all his pectoral muscles were torn. You know, like he just fucking shredded all his muscles. That's pretty epic. Just saying.
It is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. You don't seem like it's that cool to you, but okay. I don't know. What are you reading?
It's cool.
Get off of Twitter, dude. Be engaged.
I pulled up the Tucker Carlson Kirstie Alley video, just in case we want to take a peek at it.
What do you want to possibly get demonetized or whatever the hell we're gonna go through
we're
again?
Good. They don't care about Tucker Carlson. We used to watch.
Oh shit! No, we got it.
time.
I don't care. We're watching this.
All right.
We gotta watch it, people. On Twitter, go to your messages.
All right.
I guess I just said fire. Just the return of Trump. Let's see what the video is like. I just want to see it.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Son of a nutsack.
Son of a god dang.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not. Fuck my where are we going? There. Okay, I am so ready.
You in? All right, we're going.
The return of Donald.
Is that what this is? It's from Dan Scavino, that guy?
Yeah, Dan Scavino. He does all this stuff. I think he's like one of the guys that makes all the videos. Him and Brad Pascal are known for making good videos.
Okay. Good videos. There was a time a man was allowed to be a man in this country.
Gotta show the black guy. Good job.
Hey, my African American.
This is kind of epic, though, ain't it? You kind of excited about that.
Kool-Aid drinking fucker.
I know. Just look at that. That's insane, man.
One day, Kal-El.
This is like
you'll join us in the
trailer.
sun. Yeah, they should have used the voiceover from Man of Steel trailer, the Man of Steel trailer.
America will be stronger and greater than ever before.
Oh my god. That's so
It's awesome.
ridiculous.
It's epic.
He's in a T-pose. You say.
God.
They didn't. See.
What?
Oh, never mind. Hold on. Yeah, they fucked that up, dude. They fucked up the end of that.
Why? What happened? Go back.
No.
miss?
You didn't miss anything. There should have been a moment where you just hear Donald Trump's voice say, like, "I love America. We're gonna do great things." Like that. When it hit, when it hits the black, when you cut to black, you have that moment where there's that disdain in the music.
Call him up.
I'm just telling you, like,
Put a comment. Like, listen, guys, low week.
Listen, you got to come over to the
You
Zoobox
and-
channel.
you and-
Check
you
out
and-
some of these things I make.
You should totally do a parody of that, like with your own commentary. I think you could do a pretty good
Oh,
job.
do you like my own voiceover?
Yeah, like
Yeah. There was a time in this country when a man was allowed to fight.
yeah, something like that. That'd be
Man was
pretty funny.
allowed to achieve. He was allowed to dream.
I mean, so
Now, Sleepy Joe Biden
okay, so it comes around.
throwing us into
Would
gulags.
you vote? Would you vote for him over Joe again?
Over
would you do
Joe?
it again?
Over
What
Joe?
about Kamala or Joe?
If it was either of them, then yeah.
Yeah, you kind of miss the spice, don't you? You kind of miss the spice a little bit. I miss the spice. I miss a little bit of the spice. I miss the.
Oh, it's certainly
like-
it's what's crazy? Like it's actually way more intense right now, geopolitics, than it ever was under Trump. But
Iran.
But they are doing
Iran.
everything they can to make it boring. They're doing everything they can to kind of convince you that everything's not falling apart. Because the media will not be critical of this administration at all. And you're like, you're doing people such a disservice. If you just treated Joe Biden like you treated Donald Trump, I'd be fine with that. Like, go for it. But clearly not the case. Clearly not what's going to happen. But if it was like right now, if it was Kamala Harris versus Trump.
Him or Ron DeSantis.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Ron DeSantis, honestly. I mean, I think like maybe the past year he's definitely hit my radar a little bit, at least as a person that believes in people's fucking personal liberty.
Who's the one person right now in the political left that you agree with that you would vote for presidency?
The political left right now?
Yeah, like if there's one guy that you'd be like, you know what, I can deal with that.
Gun to my head, like Joe Manchin, maybe.
See, you just. I was saying the same thing, but I'm like, that's a cop out. He's only doing it because he is the most powerful man in Washington. Him and Sinema.
He loves it, dude. He's fucking.
Christina Sinema.
Oh, Sinema with the boots.
Dude, Sinema, kind of sexy. I don't know what it is about her. There's something about her, like a little bit.
She could sing
like
songs to me at night. Is there any videos of Kirsten Sinema that we can just watch and with no sound?
I mean, you can always mute it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Kirsten Sinema, I don't know. She remember the thumb down thing she did, and everyone freaked out. They were like, "Oh my god," because she didn't vote for $15 an hour. She didn't like it.
She could get it. Yeah, she could get it.
Yeah, she's all right too. She's pretty. She's like definitely the kind of like feminist you could hang out with and probably bang.
A party, right? Because she's like an old school '90s feminist, like back in the day.
Back in the day, kind of feminist.
Yeah. Come on now. Oh yeah. See, just look at her. Just look at her. Tight little package.
Are you showing this on Okay, yeah.
Tight little package.
Oh yeah, dude.
Look, got a little bit of a Gwen Stefani vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Little
so
Tragic Kingdom era Gwen Stefani look. He's like, don't fucking. What are you doing?
Dude, she's sexy though. She'd get it, dude.
She could get it. I like looking at beautiful women and just being a fat slob and being like, yeah, she'd get it.
Objectified. She could, though.
She wanted to.
She wants to be objectified somewhere inside.
I agree. Don't we all?
You know, Pence is a good like 1994 president. Not modern time, but
he's too even keeled for you. Oh yeah.
I think Pence is the type of face. Listen. Oh, okay. So, all right, Sean. What I want you to pull up, okay?
What?
For all the Zubax guys out there, like, share, subscribe. Do what you gotta fucking do. Honestly, we're at 321. We're on the way. We gotta get to 420. It's a good number. But aliens. Look up the current alien footage, and I want you to like. Do you think this is fucking fake?
Are you talking about that 60? Didn't they do a 60 minutes recently?
Yeah, but like, can you just find that footage? I don't really give a shit what they're saying.
I found new video raises questions from 2 days ago. They're all news
There's
outlets,
no like,
though.
There's no like compilation. There's no like, just type in alien.
I wrote new alien footage. It's all. Like, I mean, maybe it's just the clips. Fucking leaked video shows UFO flying around Navy ship near San Diego.
Shit, I read 2 days ago. Comment and I started typing white. Alien. Yeah, I'm gonna type in alien compilation. See what comes up.
They hate us because they ain't us. Let me see here.
Like, come on! I look at so much compilations on porn. Look how fake that shit is, dude.
All right, hold on. I pulled up the Today Show one. I think this is
just mute it.
I know.
So we don't get hit.
I don't. Yeah, it's already muted, but it should be okay. Yeah, I think this is what they were showing on 60 Minutes the other day. So
look how fake this shit looks, dude. Look at this shit.
Look at this dumb bullshit. There's a dot on a fucking screen, dude. That's an ink blot.
Tell me, would that be hard to fake?
No. No, it wouldn't be. That's
look,
it.
look,
This
look,
is
look,
the
look at
this is the
bullshit, look.
groundbreaking footage. Oh, this
No, but
fucking
I'm just
guy.
saying, like, tell me,
This fucking
Corvette.
guy.
Hey. But this is like, why are they releasing this now? Like,
Because the world is fucking on fire, and they're just
Well,
like,
look.
aliens, guys.
Look how
Aliens.
fucking bullshit that thing looks. Look how bullshit that looks like bullshit. If those clouds don't even look real, bro.
Listen, I know bullshit. Okay, and that looks dead to rights like bullshit.
Elon Musk said it right. Elon Musk was right when he goes like, how can we have all this like expensive equipment, but like you can barely see the fucking thing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? We got these.
And we're also seeing footage
$40
from
million
like
per aircraft.
we're seeing like, so this happened like 30 years ago, never again.
No, Sean. This shit's from like this summer.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, there's a female pilot, so probably.
No, that's a man. That's a guy.
Nah, damn, that's a woman. How dare you?
He had woman eyes for sure. Very bedroom eyesy. But like, look at this shit. Oh, it was a woman. I lied.
The fuck, dude? You think,
Like, this is the perfect
Get
plan.
your
Give me a
gator
hot
checked
piece
out.
of ass. Hot piece of ass to sell me alien shit. I see.
it's like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me
Listen, I would
twice.
vote for socialism if Krista Cinnamon wasn't on it, but otherwise. Like, look at this fucking thing. Like, look at this shitty. Like, you're gonna tell me okay, so you've been seeing these things for fucking years, and you're gonna tell me now, like, you've never tried to upgrade your camera systems so like it can get more high fidelity shit?
Well, you would think if this is a possibility that the government knows about, there would be HD camera fucking drones just surveilling the skies at all times.
Okay, but and my friend brought up a really good point. My buddy T-Man again, TNT as I call him. He goes, like, there's a couple options out here. He goes, one, to him, this is the most plausible, that the U.S. government is finally releasing this stuff and saying it's Russia or China. It could be. They're going, Marco Rubio goes, if this is not our aircraft, so this is like, they have such an advanced technology, if it's not an alien, like, we got a serious issue, right? There's a serious problem. So, because they're flying all over like a secure air base or airspace and all this bullshit,
Yeah.
And he goes like, that would be the best thing to do if it was yours, because Russia's gonna go, well, it ain't mine. So now they're looking at China weird, and China goes, it ain't fucking mine. When they look over there, but it's really just ours. It's just our technology.
It's possible, sure.
Like, I think that's pretty fair, because I mean, could it be aliens? Yeah, but what would be the benefit of doing? Is this or are the aliens just not giving a shit and they're like, we're gonna expose ourselves?
No,
You got
dude,
like
this is more chum for the populace. I don't fucking believe this for a goddamn second. This is chum, baby. The shit going on in the world, they want to get your mind off it and think about things that don't fucking matter. If there's aliens or not, in the big scheme of things, pretty inconsequential.
What?
Yeah.
You mean inconsequential?
To what's going on in the world right now, unless they are, they're pulling the levers. Yeah.
No, of course. Well, if there were aliens and because like, okay, it'd be really hubris of us to think that America's the only nation they talk to. They've probably talked to all of them.
No, damn, they'd come to America. We're the best. They'd be like, we really love your situation.
Now, they may use America as a conduit to get done what they want to get done, whatever that is.
They're in Malaysia somewhere so they can have sex with kids. These aliens are fucked up, dude. They're sexual deviants.
There's just photos get leaked of Jeffrey Epstein, like, hanging out with, like, aliens, like, doing fucked up shit. Like, no, do you know what it will be, Sean? You know how, like, there's videos leaked of, like, Bill Gates now? Like, there's, like, more and more photos coming out of him, and it will just be after aliens come out, like, Fox News will start releasing images with the aliens on Epstein.
Dude, I don't know. Actually, that stuff with Bill Gates, it's funny to see how quickly they turn on him. And like you kind of intimated this last week, that we were talking about it a little bit. Why are they turning on him now? It seems a little suspicious. Because they're basically like Me Tooing him. They're basically being like, well, he used to hit on chicks down at the old the Bill Gates plant.
I feel like it's different. It's even more pervasive than Me Tooing it. Like that's like Me Tooing. Like Cuomo can't even get Me Too, and he's got like 11,000 people. Like he goes, there's a difference between harassment and being uncomfortable.
It would be awesome if he just leaned into the mic and said locker room talk. Just
if he had any real balls. Which I guess like a majority of his book deal money like went to his kids, which you know what? Listen, dude. And this is the thing I have a problem with anybody. Let me tell you something. You're fucking like Ted Cruz. Your kids are freezing in the house and you have the ability to fucking take them to Mexico?
Okay, I don't know who this I don't know who this person is.
Mm-hmm.
This is from 2 weeks ago. The real reason Bill Gates is getting divorced.
Oh man. I feel like this is yeah.
It's a shorter video.
Sure, how long? Like 2-3 minutes?
4 minutes, but we don't have to watch the whole thing. We'll just see if it's worth it.
We'll give him a minute taste. A minute or two. Give him half. We'll give him 50-50. If it's 50 and it's bad, then okay. Just turn up my volume. Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
After years of working closely both professionally and as a
Nikki
married couple,
Swift,
Bill
John.
Gates and Melinda Gates announced their separation.
Who is Nikki Swift? I don't know.
This is like Watch Mojo. This is like a mainstream.
Okay, well, let's see what they say.
Yeah.
Let's see what this might be interesting, actually.
On May 3rd, 2021. Bill and Melinda presented as a remarkably stable partnership for the bulk of their time in the spotlight. Bill, as the founder of Microsoft, made billions, and Melinda remained steadfast by his side, co-founding and running the
economy. Obviously,
I'll tell you what.
Honestly,
I'll tell you what right now, Dan. She would not get it.
Nah,
would
not
not.
at this
Well,
stage.
although
Not
she's
at
got a
this
lot
level.
of money though. She's got that fucking money, dude. Maybe I will slide in her DMs. So she'll understand. My wife will understand.
Did you not see who Jeff Bezos' ex-wife like married or whatever? She's getting married again. She's getting married just like 7th grade science teacher. That guy fucking married up, bro.
You could say so.
Like, you bet your ass though she signed a prenup.
Like, this is almost like kind of passive aggressive to hold on this shot this long though. I'm just saying, Nikki Swift, you're a real bitch.
You know what I love? Like, you know what I love? Every time I'm swiping through like YouTube and I see ABC and they show like Elsa Stefanik, whatever, from New York or Donald Trump. Like, they always put them in like the worst angles and the worst lighting possible.
And this is her glamour shot, Dan.
I guess. Because I'm going to tell you another dude. I got super fucking baked.
No.
And I was thinking, like I was watching something and then Nancy Pelosi somehow was on Twitter. And I was thinking about it and I was like, if there was like a cartoon and like, because she's always about to lose her teeth, you know? She's not opening her mouth too wide.
Okay.
Like you know, I can see like an Invader Zim style. Like old, like trying to keep her teeth in as she's like talking, and she's just a monster, dude. I don't know. It just anyway. I'm sorry. I could just see it.
You could see it.
Just
see it in your high mind's
like
eye.
if someone could make an Invader Zim style
with Nancy Pelosi,
with her, like drool coming out of her mouth, she's like, you just could President Trump is so bad. Like I could just see it.
Put on your mask. Put on your mask.
Yeah. Put on your mask, peasant.
Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which provides support for such wide-ranging causes as public radio to medical advances. Despite their world-famous charity and United...
You were saying?
She looks good from the side. From the side, she's like representative.
Front, like, Bill and Melinda were deeply private, only appearing in the headlines for charity work or Microsoft News. Mostly, they seemed like a committed couple whose problems were no greater than their joint philanthropic endeavors and raising their 3 kids.
I love how Bill Gates has sold himself as being like a Mr. Rogers-esque figure, except he's like an evil billionaire who's like, get the injection.
Or like, no, I'm not releasing the intellectual property rights to the vaccine to save people in India and like all over the world. He doesn't really give a shit. They don't give a fuck.
No.
And I feel like, you know, Melinda, like, look at her, man. You know, just a fucking piece of garbage. Just a fucking human trash. Like, look how soulless they look. They don't look happy.
But he thought, Dan, they're playing a fun game right now. Are you not seeing this? This is
It's
what
like they're
normal.
playing-
This is
it's
what
like-
normal human beings. This is like Mark
know what?
Zuckerberg trying to drink a glass of water. It's like the same type of effect where you're just like,
You know what pisses me off?
What?
Okay, like, this is what pisses me off. So I'm watching Fauci and Rand Paul because Rand Paul and Fauci have become pretty synonymous and famous for like having these clashes.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now, weed is great because you really can focus and you can really just come up with these great ideas. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, Fauci is a guy that funded, like, so him or whatever, like, however, he signed off on the gain of function research in China. Like, it's pretty well known now.
Yeah.
Like, in that particular lab, all these like famous science guys that were involved that were like on the investigation team sent by the World Health Organization, like it's just all this weird shit. I'm like, basically, what I've seen is like, there's two options. Fauci is completely doesn't give a shit what happened. Like he had no idea what was going on. He didn't care, just signing stuff. He's just ignorant, whatever. Or it's like he's playing Russian roulette with a guy, and then he's surprised when brain gets flown all over his face. Like he's like, oh my god, like I can't believe it, because that's what they were doing in a level 2 lab or whatever. And Sean, they're trying to open 1,000 more in China now. Same type of research.
Oh, it should be a lot of fun for the international crowd. Hey, what's up, Fractal Curve? What's up, buddy?
Hello, Fractal.
It's been a minute.
No, we just talked to him the other day, didn't we? No, we talked to the other man.
Maverick jumped in the other day.
Yeah, Maverick. Fractal, man, what a legend. Yeah, man, I don't know, but anyway, like, just look at these fucking guys, though. Like, look at these people, like Fauci and all these people saying, like I just don't understand why we listen to these people anymore. I don't get it.
I don't know either. Well, I mean, because they're assumed authorities, and we put them on television.
Listen, dude, burn your mask. That's what I'm doing. I fucking, like, dude. I don't think
what's
people
up,
realize
Bill? Woken Big says Melinda looks like Kevin Kline. I agree, actually. Yeah.
Oh, what up, man?
From the In and Out era. Yeah.
Hey, if you're Fractal, go subscribe to Woken Baked.
All right.
Prophet, do the same. He's a friend.
All right.
Based out of Alaska.
Let's continue.
It came as a shock to learn of their intention to divorce.
What?
The year 2020 was a turning point for the Gates. Bill stepped down from Microsoft to focus on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which he co-chairs with his wife. However, the move evidently did not bring them closer together. Bill and Melinda shared a lengthy statement explaining the situation to their millions of Twitter followers. The joint statement read, "After a great deal of thought and a lot of work on our relationship."
Pause this shit. Look at this fucking loser, dude. Look at these loser people. They just have money. If you saw this guy, he was making a median job, maybe like, $80,000 a year working at some like company.
You could
like
do dress
Costco.
like that?
Maybe not. I'm gonna look at him. He's like Evergate stable. He's a fucking loser.
He's a fucking old boomer. This is like how a grandpa dresses. I mean, what do you expect?
And listen, I'm not disparaging them but like they're fucking losers. These people with all this money.
It's like, what are you wearing? A fucking
Evergate stables with vents out the back.
Well, that's the key to like the boomer thing. It's like when people have vents on the back of their hats or like little flaps in their shirts. Although when you get older, you start understanding. You're like, oh, these are pretty cool. Like when you
stop caring about like
you get
look.
Yeah, you get the Tommy Bahama action going on. Holy shit. Welcome Baked. Bill says Bill is smashing Kevin Kline's sister-in-law. Bill, the accountant from Amazon.
I mean, come
We
on,
have
man.
decision to end our marriage. Over the last 27 years, we have raised 3 incredible children and built a foundation that works all over the world to enable all people to lead healthy, productive lives. The statement further addressed any questions over the fate of the foundation, but left details of the couple's billion-dollar fortune.
All I can say is she looks like Brie Larson if she never got a nose job.
Oh, okay. Right, especially right in that freeze frame. Yes.
Do you see it?
That's Captain Marvel right there.
She has potential.
Show some respect, buddy.
Dude, Brie Larson is fucking hot.
She is hot. She's hot. Yeah.
She's
got kind of a forehead on her, but you know what, Dan?
You know what?
She could
bigger
get it.
Target.
She could get
bigger
it.
Bigger target, dude.
Up for as well as hinted at the reason for their split. The statement went on to say, We continue to share a belief in that mission and will continue our work together at the foundation. But we no longer believe we can grow together as a couple in this next phase of our lives. We ask for space and privacy for our family as we begin to navigate this new life. According to the New York Times, this isn't the first time Bill and Melinda Gates have experienced a rocky patch in their marriage. Though clearly, this is the most serious setback. Inside sources revealed to the outlet that there were several times.
Loser. Look at this fucking guy.
Look at this goober.
Dude, look at this fucking loser, dude.
He's just an old man.
No, it's not even his old dude. I don't like him. Take your vaccine.
Times when the relationship neared collapse, that they worked to keep it together. Melinda also alluded to some less than idyllic moments in the couple's marriage in a 2019 interview with the Sunday Times of London, even sharing Bill's indecision about getting married in the first place. She shared, when he was having trouble making the decision about getting married, he was incredibly clear that it was not about me. It was about, can I get the balance right between work and family life?
But still keep dating me forever, please.
That adrenochrome is not working, Bill. Jesus.
He's got to get some new adrenochrome. His supply, maybe that's, this Jeffrey Epstein thing. He's aged like 10 years.
Well, like did you read the New York Post article as to why he was hanging out with him? Because like Epstein had so much pull with the science community because of Harvard, MIT, like he was known to give them money.
Yeah.
And it supposedly was like the Nobel laureate program. So he was trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to work with him to get him a Nobel Prize. Yeah, that's what that was really about.
It's almost like Jeffrey Epstein was some sort of foreign intel agent that was ingratiating himself in every echelon of our culture, of our elite culture.
Why was Jeffrey Epstein was just an alien?
Maybe that's that's the key right there. And like I said, what did I say about aliens before, Dan? Probably trying to fuck kids. So
this is like kind of the lizard people thing from David Icke.
Oh yeah, David Icke, yeah.
What happens if it was all I just kind of wish a part of me.
You want it to be true. You want it to be true. So bad.
I like a
Come
slightly.
On. I do.
Slightly. There's a part of me. It's like, dude, it'd be kind of badass to go to war with some aliens and shit. But or this, they're just nasty. It would be like back in the old times when they're talking about fables and what's it called not the body snatcher one. There was a famous Goosebumps episode or something to that effect, or where it's they still babies. I can't fucking remember what it's called. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There's a lot of things that have that.
No, but they steal baby. It's the same. Changelings, like the movie with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
Changeling.
The Changeling,
which has nothing to do with any paranormal stuff, but if you watch the movie, you'll get it.
Yeah.
But changelings, that's kind of maybe what they are.
Maybe.
Maybe it's maybe that part, but because you think all these fantasies and stuff, one of them's got to be real. Something's got to be real.
Something, I suppose.
You know what I mean? Statistically, you would think that one of these things is probably true.
I guess, yeah. Why not?
Dude, think about Alex Jones. Bilderberg Corporation. It was denied for decades that it wasn't real. It was denied for a long time that it was real.
Yeah, I know.
The secret society shit with all the Republicans or the government people up in
Skull and Bones and stuff.
All those things were kind of viewed as fictitious.
You're talking about Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove, all these things were definitely. If you really listen to Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, you get it.
It unlocks the seventh parallel, and and your mind's eye opens, awakens.
Well, you got to think all those things were a conspiracy at one point. All those things were not were ridiculous.
Yeah, everything's conspiracy. Everything's magic until we actually have some hard data and we know what it is. Yeah.
But what's hard data, Sean? This is my problem.
What do you mean?
I was having a trippy moment. So I took 4 Delta 8s, which obviously Bill doesn't have to worry about this fucking shit because it's legal where he's at. But so Delta 8, look it up, man. Listen, it's not as good as the real thing, but it's a good substitute. So took 4 of them, and I was pretty rocked. And I got into this really weird flow state of fear and erotic, something was erotic happening too. But But I
Brought
was,
on
I was,
by the fear.
well, I have a fear boner. What is that from?
The
I can't
league.
remember.
The league.
The League. Yes. Is that a Ralphie or something?
No,
Or
it
it
was
was
just one of the guys. He gets mugged.
one of the guys. Yeah, and he gets an erection. Okay. But I digress. I was like, this constantly is starting to feel more and more like a simulation. I don't know how much of that has to do with isolation, but that's what I wanted to bring up. I'm really glad we're talking about aliens and all this stuff. Sorry guys, if you really want to watch the Bill Gates video, yeah, it's all right. Like go watch it. You know, we'll probably finish it, but tell me this isn't the perfect setup, Sean. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Slowly leak out all the stuff. Okay, Tucker Carlson. He's the number one watched guy on television right now, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Next to The Office, which is actually trending back to being number one in all of television. So, like, which I don't know if you know this, just side note, the guy that created is the fat guy from The Office. The really fat guy, the dumb one, the chili guy who jumps to chili.
Kevin?
He started, Kevin, but his name's like Baumgartner or whatever.
Yeah.
He started a podcast where he interviews each person from everybody from producers.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I'll listen to an episode. It's not bad. But okay, perfect setup. So Tucker Carlson, really, people really like him. He starts talking about all these aliens and stuff. This is the perfect setup for like simulation almost. Like it makes me think this is like couldn't be real, because if I'm right, if any of this happens,
the world will never be the same.
I know, because I'm saying, okay, this is the perfect setup because our nation's so divided. It's so like blah 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 and all this crap. Tell me this right now. This is not like a comic book. So he's a good guy. Like Tucker Carlson starts out as a good guy, and he starts like spouting all this like kind of, it becomes this nationalistic view, like we have to defend ourselves from this threat, and it like progresses, and then he's just too like full of himself to like let go of like the fight, even though and it just eggs things on. And then you got the fucking ex-Navy SEAL eye patch wearing motherfucker that decides to run for. He's like somehow becomes super popular and runs for president, saying he'll take care of the alien solution, like the problem.
Yeah.
And like it's like, look at that guy, dude. That is a plant if I've ever seen. Like that's a fucking plant. That's just from a comic book. Like Dan Crenshaw, I'm an ex-Navy SEAL. I ripped out in combat, like. Or blown out in combat, however you want to say it. Like it's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could be the guy that pushes us to the next level of the simulation.
Maybe.
I just had a thing. And like Nancy Pelosi, like all these fucking, like they're all just monsters, dude. We're surrounded by monsters, man.
I agree. We got some. Dylan Scott says #vaccinated, #did my part. He also says, Dan, get your vaccine and be good.
Listen, man.
I don't know who that is, but
I know who it is. But like, I'm not against a vaccination, and I'm not for it. I think you should have like, you know, medical decisions, and this is why Roe v. Wade has been in existence. This is what the decision was ultimately about: privacy. It was a 16th Amendment issue. Privacy between you and your doctor. I don't know. I am of the thought though that I'm hesitant not to get it, but to get it because I'm forced to. Does that make sense? Like that may be like kind of like,
yeah, because of the pressure, the social conformity. You know, like
no,
sure.
It's even like making things a requirement to live my life. Like I feel like that's it. Like, so, but then I ask myself questions like all the time. I'm like, why do I need a fucking driver's license?
Well,
like, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we want people on the road that have at least achieved a standard, I suppose, because it is something
what that standard is,
but
Sean.
that's something directly affects the vast majority of people.
Actually, not true.
You know, commute.
How many car accidents have you been in your entire life?
How many have I been in?
That is like you with another person at least.
I don't know if I've ever really been in a real car accident.
It's anecdotal, I know. I'm just saying. It's like, what are they going to tell me? I need a license for my gun now, right?
Well, it's under the same logic, I suppose. I mean,
well, I mean, not really.
That's what they would say. I'm saying that's
Why
the
do
arguments
they
would
get
make.
to know what kind of car I fucking drive? Why do they get to know where I live now? The state I have to
No,
report
it's
where I
obviously
live.
something that has fallen down a tunnel of bureaucracy and bullshit and weirdness and control, and it's obviously not like it's virgin intent. Just like
Now-
everything. Just like everything. You give people an inch, they will take it as far as they possibly can.
Well, I don't know if it's probably taken a long time, but yeah, I think it was Massachusetts that first instituted driver's license. I think it was also seatbelts, which is how insurance came about, and like all these. It just seems like fucking wild to me. Like, why do I need a driver's license? How old am I? Why do I have to renew my driver's license? Why? And why does my most current up-to-date information have to be on said driver's license? Why is my address on there, period?
So they can know where you are, Dan, so they can get you.
Well,
I think it's just,
fucking
dude, it's
weird.
just dumb. It's just like, it's another way to tax you constantly, take a little bit more of your fucking money, a little extra revenue stream for the state. Like South Carolina just instituted a new thing over the past like year or two that we found out when we bought our new car, that we actually have to pay like a fee now in South Carolina for our license plate on a semi-annual basis. We actually have to pay a fee to have our license plate. It's like we're renting it from the state. You're like, that's just a way. That is just a way to get $25 from you every year. That's all that is. That has nothing
And honestly,
to do with fucking reality.
I mean, yeah, no, it doesn't, and that's really what the thing is. Like, we've regulated and created all these things, like voting. Like, I don't understand people. I don't get it. Like, you can't buy beer, can't buy cigarettes for the most part. Well, they're both the same age now, federally. Like, you can't buy beer or cigarettes without an ID. You can't do anything without an ID, but you can vote without one.
Well,
Seems
let
ridiculous.
me ask you a question. Okay, I agree. I think if you have to show your ID to buy a pack of cigarettes, then I don't think like showing your identification to vote should be that big of a deal. I think it's just one of those dumb things that they're just going to use as a talking point. It's not, which is so weird because it's so like condescending and weird to me. But
Well, it seems
but
small.
okay, when you say the thing like, oh, why do I have to have a driver's license? Well, think about the voting situation. Do you want to have verification of that person is who they say they are?
When you go to register to vote,
Well, that could be easily. You can get like a piece of paper and somebody can make that could be forged a lot easier than a driver's license.
what do you mean, dude? All I have to do is mail a fucking piece of mail to my neighbor's house or something, mail a package, a couple packages, go, oh, I'm sorry, whatever. Like, it's bullshit. So when you go get your driver's license, like, oh, here's a couple pieces of mail.
Yeah,
here's this.
Well,
Granted,
yeah.
that's going through a lot of trouble to put it at your neighbor's
most people aren't
house.
going to do that, but and then if you're found out that that's what you've done, like you've committed fraud, I believe.
I don't know, dude. You can't believe these guys. You can't believe anybody. That's like the one thing I've started realizing. The older I get, and it's not even being black-pilled or anything. It's like, no, just because you're a fucking guy with a degree doesn't mean shit. It
No.
doesn't mean anything. Like, oh, teacher, with your doctorate in fucking whatever. Like, let's say got your doctorate in fucking like physics. It doesn't mean you're a fucking expert on social economic problems. It doesn't mean you deserve to have the respect and piety to be like, oh, we have to listen to you. Like when the CDC, which I've complained about this many times, said that racism was a big enough deal that it's okay to go out and protest because racism is more deadly than COVID.
Yeah,
You've lost all credibility.
I know, but we know that. I mean, that's just the thing. Like I said, they play games. Like, these things become
But it's
something
not even
other than
games.
what it is. That's a game. Those are social controls. It's a weird shit. It's weird shit.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they're preparing us for aliens. Like, this could make sense. Like, get everyone off kiltered, all like off balance, and then they slowly interject the alien idea. Because what are we gonna do if aliens were real? And like, this is all real. This is all happening, and all of our suspicions have been washed away, and we actually find out like, yes, aliens are real.
Yeah, Yeah.
Is that going to change anything? Do you think that would change anything in the social discourse? Like, you think anything would change?
Not really.
Would you want them to? Would you want to
I think less
have
would.
them
I
fuck
think.
with us?
I think less would change than you would think in terms of like most the general population. I mean, sure, aliens are real, but what the fuck does that matter to a dude who's working at a gas station? Other than maybe it's exciting. Like, you still gotta go to work, pay your bills, do whatever, keep a roof over your head, get food. It's not gonna matter.
What happens if they just came and they said, "You're all wrong," or whatever?
You mean they came with some sort of revelatory piece of information about the constructs of life and what that means and what purposes?
There's a couple reasons why aliens are coming, if they are coming at all. One, it's resources, which is probably not good for us.
Like
'cause
science.
Yeah. Yeah, because, is that why they came originally? Was it for resources?
That's what they speculate in the movie. Yeah.
Is that what they speculate? But resources, workers, which I guess is a resource, but like slaves, maybe they just
need some cheap labor.
I mean, dude, do you think that would be
And then
crazy?
they look at you and they say, "We learned it from you, Dad." And then we realize that the aliens are just us from 2,000 years in the future. That's my theory. If there's aliens, if there are aliens are just us after
you would never be able to go in the past, though.
No. See, what would happen once you get past time and space as we understand it? You get into black hole theory and shit like that. Remember Interstellar?
Like multiple dimensions, they just go to different dimensions, not
Well,
their own.
It's not even. You would just go so far that you'd be so far removed from it because it would be like 100,000 years in the future, and then you would make this discovery on the edge of space and time, and then you end up circling back and not even knowing that you're at like the genesis of where human beings came from, and you're fucking studying them. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, that's actually part of the plot of.
It's like Planet of the Apes.
No, it's actually part of the plot of 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's like the meta story is that like humanity gets to the farthest reaches basically, and then in a sense comes back to save itself. Like, so when we find out all of these moments of inspiration, what spurred on technological advancement, a lot of it was just us in a kind of the circle of life type of thing. Where we learned all this stuff and literally came back around in time because we went as far as we could and started back at like the beginning, the dawn of civilization, the dawn of man. Very cool. That's my theory.
Very cool. Very good theory.
I don't know if it's bullshit. I'm not a.
Yeah, but
I'm not an
wouldn't
educated
you
man.
rather farm from the future than the past?
No, it's not about. Well, if you talking about the enslavement thing, well, they could come back. They might not even know. They might not know that it's happened,
but
Dan.
you should never fuck with the past.
No, what I'm saying is they might not know that they're in the past. But
I understand, but I'm saying
they're so
if
far
they
removed, they just think they found a primitive civilization.
You're missing my point. You're hypothetical, Sean.
Okay.
Would it be more dangerous to affect the past or the future for your present?
Well,
What's more dangerous?
Let me tell you something, Dan. Time is fixed. Anything that has happened has always happened. So if we were to find ourselves in that situation 100,000 years in the future where we've come back around on time, that always happened.
Son, no, stop that.
It always happened.
Stop saying all this.
It always happened.
It's not a circle. Stop.
It always happened, dude.
I'm saying if time is linear, okay, and
Until
there's
you
no
get
circle,
out there.
it's just linear.
Until you get out there.
Until you get out there and you come right back. To come right there, it's like the world. You just come around.
Yeah.
But if time is linear, like, what would be more if you were going to okay, I want to enslave people.
I'll grant you ridiculous hypothetical because everybody knows that time is fixed and anything that's happened has always happened. No, obviously going back and fucking with the past, as is the concept of most time travel movies, is a bad thing.
Well, I mean, just theoretically, though, it makes more sense to steal from the future because you can't interrupt the future. You can only interrupt from where you are currently.
Yeah, but sure, and I think that would work on a linear have you ever seen the movie Looper?
Yeah.
There's aspects of that in Looper. The idea that Bruce Willis's character literally gets sent back from the future to himself to be executed because that's going to happen. That's in the future. So he gets taken and then sent back and then etc. And then the rest of the movie makes no logical sense. I really like that movie, but it's like time travel
but
wise,
like-
paradoxically, it's incoherent. But
Well, the concept though would be to back travel in time. And you go through time backwards. Since time is absolute, like, 'cause time is absolute if you don't fuck with it.
well,
In the past only.
Yeah, but the theory would be that you can't fuck with it. Okay, think
No.
about the movie Tenet.
Listen, stop giving me movies, Sean.
These are things that have explored the ideas you're talking about.
No, but I mean, it is exploring that idea. But like, I'm saying in the sense of, if what has happened yesterday you can't change, right?
Yeah.
Because it would have an immediate effect on what you have at present.
Yeah, your present would be different if you changed
Right.
the day before.
But if
yeah.
you are always going in the future, it would never affect your past, which would insulate and protect the present. Technically, it
Well-
would never affect your present life.
No, not in the immediate, but it affects your future life because you're going
No,
back.
it doesn't.
It does because you went into the future and maybe you caused something, maybe you did something
Yeah,
that ruins
but you
the
did
future.
too. Would you? Okay, Sean. Listen, if you're going to time
Just
travel, you're gonna
saying.
go 5 years. I'm going 1,000. I'm going like
So
way
when,
out.
So when you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, exactly. No, because like that's because even if you go back 1,000 years, you still have a chance of affecting your present, the butterfly effect type thing.
Yeah, I know.
But if you're only manipulating the future, then you're okay.
Yeah, but
From your
you're
present.
not actually manipulating the future because that is the future. Like it is the thing that happens.
Which is what you're not fucking with time. It's not technically time travel.
Well, it is time.
That's
It
the-
would be time
No,
travel.
No, because time is absolute. What has happened has already happened. Technically, your future's your past. You already know what's gonna happen. So like you're aware psychologically, like you're gonna be like, I understand what's about to come.
Sure.
So like technically, it's your past.
Yeah, but that would it would be your past because if you lived through it, yeah, it would be your past. But that would also there's no way of getting around it. It would affect your present because now you have
No.
knowledge about the future.
Yes, but that's only if you interact.
So
on it.
so what I'm saying is like that's kind of goes back to my thing is like everything that's ever happened has already happened, always will have happened. So if you from this point in time go 100 years into the future and you learn something about that happens in the future, you see a piece of technology or whatever, then you come back to our time with that information, then you are going to it's going to affect the way you move forward and then thusly creating that future.
I disagree.
You would be creating the future that you witness.
No,
basically.
because-
that's why it's a paradox. Like it's like almost like
It-
doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, but there's a point where you can get past that paradox and continue once you get
How?
past it. Because in the sense of this, if I time traveled right now to 2 weeks from now, and then so like myself right now, I walk through that door, out the door, like, and I go, and I'm gone for, in real time, in my timeline, would only be a couple seconds, right? Like, you know, like that's what would really legitimately happen.
Yeah.
Because that person who left would continually have to time travel through. And the person that comes back is going to continue going forward through time.
I understand that. What I'm
So
saying
you
is,
would never
but
you would never run into yourself.
You're not run into yourself, but your knowledge, your base of knowledge would be different. So that the way you move forward with your life is going to be tied to the information that you learned in the future.
It'd be ballers.
Thus,
Sucks
you would
not to be me.
You would actually be working towards creating the future that you witnessed.
Or no, not necessarily.
You would. Let me ask you. Okay, let's wait.
Because the question is like, is it a loop then?
Let's get into more of a microcosm. Let's shrink it down to something that's a little bit more easy to just like wrap our heads around.
Okay.
You got a crystal ball. The crystal ball tells you you're gonna die in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So that you see a vision of the future through the crystal ball. Do you try to stop it?
By your logic, I would not be able to.
I don't think you would be able to. No.
That's what you're saying. You don't think you'd be able to, because if time is absolute.
No, because everything you saw in there you were supposed to see and it affected. It actually is a self. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Nah, I don't buy it.
I buy it.
Because the whole point of time manipulation.
You can't.
That's not true.
Okay, here's what, if you wanted to talk about time manipulation, what would happen then, right? Then we're talking about parallel dimensions. We're talking about string
It's
theory.
not even parallel.
No, we're talking about string theory because because if every timeline is fixed and then you do something that changes the timeline, you create a branch. And now you're on a
all
separate track.
We're talking about literal.
Well, Dan,
We're talking about literal.
It's no more theoretical than what we're talking about.
I know things.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I worked for the government.
I work for a lot of.
Like,
Hold on.
All
right.
What?
Hopefully we're still on.
What's wrong?
OBS just shit out and then it came back.
Oh man, let me see, guys. Are we still on? Yeah, we're on.
You're on. Okay.
We're still live.
All right.
I think. No, but like you can't. There is no thing, technically, of branches of time. Like,
How would you wouldn't know? You wouldn't know.
That's the point. That's the only thing that's relevant, is that you would never know. You can never prove it. It is not absolute. That's because in your current timeline, whichever one you're in, is absolute. There is no denying that it is absolute in your current timeline.
In your current timeline, sure. But like anytime you throw a dice, you create 6 timelines.
Shut up.
Because every timeline is going to have the dice. Is going to have the dice roll.
Yeah,
Dan, it's infinite. It's infinite.
Yeah, that's. Why do we think that, Sean?
I'm just saying it's infinite. That's what it would be. It would be infinite.
Why? Why would it be infinite, Sean?
Because why is there a set number of timelines that can be created?
It's impossible to be infinite.
No,
it's impossible for it to be infinite. Why?
Well, infinite relative to our understanding of how many things there can be.
No, there's got to be a definable
10.
term.
Dan's there's only 10. You're only allowed 10.
No, but so 6. I don't know how many combinations of dice there are, but there's a finite combination of dice, right?
Sure, and then but then you got to multiply that by every time somebody throws a dice.
I mean, no.
That'd be a lot.
No, because there is only one throw of the dice. There is an infinite possibility, but there is technically only one throw that is real, that is actual.
In your timeline, yeah. In my timeline, we rolled snake eyes, bitch.
But there is no other timeline.
Well, it's no
Because okay, if this is a simulation, if this is a simulation, then there is no timeline. Because a simulation is predictable. It's always going to have a certain outcome.
Well,
it's a simulation.
It will have parameters, right? Because if this is a simulation and it has been designed like a video game or whatever, that's that's what the Matrix is, right? That's the movie The Matrix. That's kind of what it's finding the edges.
Free your mind, dog.
And how to manipulate it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a simulation theory guy, so I don't know.
Neither am I. We could get destroyed by a guy that knows a lot about it. But the thing is this: it gets into the realm of theology and ideology. You can't prove this shit.
No,
People
you
go,
can't.
well, we have math that has been used to prove other things in our system.
Yeah, like planets and stuff to show that theoretical.
So they
planets.
use that as a constant. That math is always the same. That math is because the only way we determine these things, believe in these things, is because we believe math is a constant, whether it's through time or in space.
Yeah,
that
it's our unifier.
Constant.
It's the grounder, and it's the thing that could unlock our knowledge of all of this stuff.
Right? What happens if math is changed through space and time?
Well, at some point, our conceptualization of it would be different. It would be wrong at some point.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. That's all I'm saying.
Once you get out where I'm talking about, out beyond space and time, and when we come back around as a star child, and blah blah blah.
I heard this really good joke. I can't remember where did I hear it on. It was pretty funny. It was actually this podcast with Andy Norman. He said something that kind of made me giggle. A little childish giggle. He goes, okay. A man that believes in flat earth theory dies, right? Man that believes in flat earth theory goes up to St. Peter, walks up to the gate. He's like, hey man, what's up, Pete? And he's like, how you doing, bud? And he's like, I'm dead. So he's like, yeah, coming to heaven. It's gonna be great. You know, all your friends are here. The finest pussy in town. It's gonna be a good time.
Mhm.
He's like, well, like, you know, we'll give you an opportunity to ask the big man a question. He's a busy guy, but we'll let you ask him one question. So the guy gets up there, sees God, shakes his hand, daps him up. And he goes, God, I have a question. He goes, go ahead, shoot, man. He goes, I hope that you can tell me, but is the earth flat or round? And God laughs a little bit, and he puts his head down, and he goes, man, the earth is flat. I mean, the earth is round. Excuse me. The earth is round. And the guy goes, my God, I didn't know how high it went. You know, like how high the conspiracy theory went in his own head. Like, so like even God coming down and telling you that you're full of shit, that this is not real. You yourself, when you have this infectious disease of the mind, will still continue to believe
The lie.
what you
Yeah,
the lie.
Your
whatever.
concept, your perception.
So this is what I'm saying. So like math, our representation, our idea of what math is, could be that lie. Because like this is the whole problem with Marxism, collectivism, this postmodernism. It's like nothing is real.
Well, everything is
Nothing has
just
no
determined
value.
by how you feel about it, which is
Yeah.
dangerous. It's a dangerous way to think. It's a dangerous
Is
way
it
to live your
dangerous
life.
or is it free?
Everything has to be some sort of self-validating thing, and it's not healthy at all for a society.
I mean, you know, is it or is it not? I don't know. I don't know what to believe in.
I say no. In this timeline,
maybe.
Dan,
Maybe
in
they're
this timeline, in the Snake Eyes timeline.
Fuck, dude.
Oh, fucking up over
What
here.
is this? What is this?
You just
we
told a
got?
joke. It reminded me of a Norm Macdonald joke.
Watch it.
Let's watch a Norm Macdonald joke. Let's do it.
Hello, everybody. Here with Norm Macdonald, chewing the fat. Where do you live here? Of course, in the city because you're doing the show.
I live in New York City.
Yeah. This isn't a police interrogation. Are you sure? Where about? Where in the city do you live, approximately, not specifically?
I live at 56 between 8th and Broadway.
Oh, this is the dog.
Okay, and what's
thing,
your
yeah.
phone number?
I
Just give me
can't do
7 digits. All right. What? Your neighbors nice people? The people that live around you?
Great people. Every day I meet somebody new, you know. This city's great because of the neighborly people, you know. I don't know. But I did meet one neighbor, interesting story, you know, that this guy, he just moved in, you know, next door to me. So I'm always one to meet the neighbors.
You like to chat with the neighbors,
Yeah, because, you know, so I went over to the guy, knocked on the door next door to where I live, and I say to the guy, I said, hey, I'm your new neighbor, you know, and I said, good to see you, you know, nice to run into you, you know, welcome to the neighborhood, you know. And so the guy, I said, what do you do for a living there, sir, you know, if you don't mind me asking? You know, what do you do for a living? I'm a nightclub comic, I tell the guy. So he says to me, he says, I work down at the University of Science there. He says, that's
a good school, by the way.
I can't remember the exact place.
Sure.
But he says, I'm a professor of logic.
Oh.
So he says, the guy says, logic. Now, what the hell is that? I never heard tell of that. He says, oh, well, he says it's a kind of a pattern of syllogistic. Well, he says it's hard to explain. He says, why don't I give you an example? So I said, fair enough. Why don't you do that? So the guy says, well, he says, let me ask you a question. He says, do you own a doghouse? So I go, yes, I do. He says, well, then that means you probably have a dog. I said, yes. He says, well, that means you have a family if you have a dog. I said, yes, I do. He said, well, then that means you got kids, you're married? I said, yes, I am. He says, well, then you're a heterosexual man. I said, yes, sir, I am. He says, well, you see, that's logic there. I asked if simply from finding out you had a doghouse, I made this series of inferences, and I found that you're a heterosexual man simply from the fact that you had a doghouse. Well, I said, good God, isn't that something?
Okay.
So I said, well, I won't waste any more of your time there, neighbor. And I said, I'll see you later.
See you around, okay?
So I said, come by one day and have a chicken with me. So anyways, I left. So I left. So I go to get a bus, you know, to the bus stop. And I walk down to the bus stop, and I'm still thinking about this thing that happened to me, you know. And I'm standing at the bus, and no bus coming at all, you know, and 5 or 6 of us standing around, and one guy lights up a cigarette there, and he goes, as soon as you light up a cigarette, the bus comes. And he smokes the whole damn cigarette, no bus comes.
Right.
So I said to the guy, well, that theory really worked, huh?
Yeah.
And the guy goes, well, sometimes it works. Anyways, the guy goes, what's new with you? I go, well, I had an interesting thing happen to me today. I said, I met my neighbor. And he goes, oh, yeah? I go, he had a hell of an interesting job. I said, he's a professor of logic down at the University of
Science. Yeah.
And so the guy says, is that so? He says, professor of logic. He goes, what the hell is that, logic? I said, well, it's a series of Scylla something or other.
Right.
I said, I can't remember exactly, but I said, I'll give you an example if you want to hear an example.
Yeah.
So the guy goes, all right, fair enough. So I said, let me ask you this. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you own a doghouse? And the guy goes, no, I don't own a doghouse. So the guy says, oh, yeah, you're one of them gays.
I mean, come on.
Nah, dude.
Come
like,
on.
honestly,
Perfect.
dude, because obviously he goes on there knowing he's gonna tell this. That's a tight 5 minutes. It's like a tight 4.5. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, it's
tight.
just a great long joke. Because it's, you know.
I like those jokes though, because like, you know, it's going somewhere and it's good. It's worth it.
Well,
Norm
especially if you got
Macdonald
Norm
is so
Macdonald.
good.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald will.
I don't know if he would be like. I've never listened to his stand up.
It's okay. He's actually way better in interviews.
It's like an interviewer
on the
yes.
podcast. Like the Norm Macdonald show, which is, I don't think it's on YouTube anymore. I think because when he got that deal with Netflix, they took all the episodes down. Some of the funniest shit.
Dude, when he talks about the frog one, the frog tries to go get a bank loan.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, that one's pretty good. That was pretty good. Talk about a real, or when he's like at the MTV Music Awards and he's in like a sweatsuit.
Oh, dude, it's like, yeah, they did their first, like, it was like the YouTube Awards or something.
Yes.
And it was
yes,
all these
something like that.
all these kind of young hip comedians, and then Norm Macdonald.
And he's like,
just
why am I
being an
here?
asshole?
And the thing is, he's like, I wonder if he's a nice guy. Like, I wonder about that. He seems like a nice guy, from what I can tell. I don't think you would probably like it if you walked up to him on the street, probably.
Yeah.
It'd probably be, I don't know. I feel like if you were like cool with him, you know, maybe you were like his server or something, like he'd be a cool guy. You know what I mean?
He's a pretty, like, down-to-earth regular dude, it seems like.
But then again, it's like Chevy Chase. I would think that too, but apparently that's not true.
Well, Chevy Chase is pretty famous for being a prick.
I mean, dude, talk about a like sexy guy.
Do you know?
Like, he was a sexy guy, dude.
Who? Chevy Chase?
Chevy Chase, sexy, dude.
Oh, man.
I saw an old picture of him. I was like, God damn, dude.
God
like,
damn, that Caddyshack years.
I mean,
those
he was
Flex years,
tan.
baby.
He was fucking
Tall,
like huge.
thin,
Oh, dude,
muscular.
all thin, has a huge cock, guaranteed.
Oh,
dude.
hell yeah.
Just massive.
Dude hangs dong. You can tell. You just tell the confidence that he has, you know? That's how he can be such an asshole.
He's like, I got a 350 horsepower
Yeah.
Chevy engine.
You know, Dan and I, we're nice guys. That should tell you something about our cocks.
We have very small pieces. Huge balls.
But this was a great moment. I'm going to show everybody. This is a great moment from the Norm Macdonald show when he was talking about what a cis male is.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if you've ever seen this. It's fucking
I think I
hysterical.
have.
Do you know that you are a cis male? Have you ever heard of that term?
A cis male?
Cis male. CYSMALE. So what it means is that you are a man. You're born a man.
Well, as far as you know.
As far as I know. And you identify yourself as a man.
Yes.
That's a cis male.
Now, I don't understand. Where does that... Is this a new phrase?
Yes, it's a way of marginalizing a normal person.
Nailed it.
You know, like, that is...
Perfect.
No, that is... amazing juxtaposition. Like that is
And that's
so
from
good.
that's from 2016.
That is fucking.
That's like how
good.
how fast the world has moved. That is kind of a normal term now. In 2016, people hadn't even heard of it.
I think he was playing with it. I do believe that guy was playing along with it. And I'm not saying
No,
like
I honestly,
he did or didn't know.
I don't, dude. I don't. Back, you got to think back 5 years ago. Like it just this stuff was just bubbling up. Like
I guess so.
You could just be because
Yeah.
that's what's his name, Stephen Merchant,
Yeah, I like Stephen Merchant. honestly.
co-creators of the original Office.
I
on
watched
the BBC.
I watched 43 when he's in it. Go back and watch movie 43. For one, it's not good, but be stoned, honestly, or drunk. But he's in there. He's a scene with him and Halle Berry. Like they're on a date or whatever, and basically they keep betting each other. It gets more ridiculous and everything, you know.
Yeah.
She gets plastic surgery. He does. You know, he like has to like hit on a guy. There's all this shit.
Yeah, they
But-
challenge each. They do like these weird challenges
Yeah,
to their date. Yeah.
But Stephen Merchant is legitimately funny. Like he's a funny guy.
He is very funny.
He does really good English dry humor. He's really good at it. That's why I would say he probably knows what that is or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he just is that good at being that dry.
Maybe.
He's just
His-
so
his,
good at
his reaction was so authentic though, because he knew he shouldn't really be laughing, and because that was the great part of that joke, that bit, is
I
that
know.
it's subversive, and
He's
you're gonna
like-
laugh at it because you're uncomfortable, because
Yeah.
you don't think should I be laughing at this? Am I saying something untoward?
I guess
like
so.
by laughing at it.
I think Norm Macdonald should regulate what hate speech is.
I would go out if I were people out there. He has a great like fake autobiography. I think it was called Norm Macdonald. Like what the hell is his book called? It's excellent. Norm Macdonald book. It is excellent, and I want to get the name right because it's based on a true story, a memoir. That's what it is, and it is fucking hysterical. I've actually had it as like my banner on Twitter for years as a line from the book. But you have to be really you have to know Norm Macdonald. You have to be at least familiar with the Norm Macdonald show because the guy that is his co-host that he's constantly shitting on is like a character in the book, and you kind of have to know their dynamic
Yeah.
to get some of the better jokes. Like he's always talking about how he used to be a male prostitute and suck punks off under a bridge for $5 a man.
I like Norm Macdonald because I feel like he's a no bullshit comedian. Like if you were gonna try to push some shit on him, he'd be like, "Fuck out of here! Like, I'm gonna do what I want." Like,
Well,
I'm
I mean,
not gonna.
he got in some hot water like a week before his Netflix show came out because he like gave a tacit defense of Louis C.K. I think, and really all he said was he's like you got to have some empathy for these people. Like their entire lives were ruined in a day. Like their careers, everything they worked for, they don't know what.
I stand by Louis C.K., our most watched video on this channel. I stand by it.
Our
I
most
stand by that
downvoted
he had
video,
the.
too.
I stand by the right to masturbate with permission. Like I stand by that. I don't give a shit about your power. If you're an adult and you can't tell someone no, then you're a fucking pussy. Like I'm sorry, if my boss walked up to me and said, "I want to jerk off in front of you," if I said yes, it's because it's women. Oh, women are so weak. They can't say no.
Well,
They have no ability.
Well, the issue with the Louis C.K. stuff was that
I don't care.
a lot of the allegations. No, what I'm saying is the issue was that those allegations were actually about events that happened before Louis C.K. was anything. He
was a head writer of Conan.
But dude, those people are fucking a dime a dozen. They're not that influential.
You need to go fucking re-listen to our conversation because you were like, that's wrong.
No, I think there are parts of what he was doing that's wildly inappropriate, dude.
Like what?
Wildly inappropriate.
Like what?
Just the idea that you just walk up to somebody like in a bathroom at a bar or whatever, and you're just like, "Hey, can I jerk off in front of you?" It's inappropriate. It's fucking wrong.
When else you gonna do it? When else is an appropriate time to ask somebody to jerk off?
If you got a weird shame kink, I guess get to know him a little bit first, because like he did that to his friends. He would do it to his friends.
Yeah.
And they would laugh at him and think it's funny. et cetera, et cetera. But he knew them. I mean, we're talking about people he didn't really know. That's the difference.
We're like, hey, dude, like, shame comes in many forms, Sean. Many forms. I just, now it makes you question about the Cuomo stuff. How much of this was actual sexual assault or harassment?
Oh, probably not much. I mean, he probably, honestly, if you stick your finger in that pie a few times, you're looking to get some filling. But at some point, you're gonna you're gonna
run dry. If you keep drilling the same hole, go somewhere else. Like maybe the 15,000 dead grandparents.
It sounds like most of it was just like off-color jokes, inappropriate statements, whatever. Like that's what seems like the most of them are.
The thing is, make that okay again. Like
what?
Make it okay
To be a
like,
chauvinist.
No, yes, but in like I listened to Charlie the Duff talking to Gavin McInnes. Charlie the Duff kind of rubbed me the wrong way in a sense, but Gavin McInnes did not do a good job of like defending his position honestly.
Who is Charlie O'Duff?
Charlie LaDuff.
Oh,
L-E-D
LaDuff. Okay.
He used to work for the New York Times. Interesting guy. Now he's kind of like fighting the establishment in Michigan, which he's doing a good job, and he's definitely left kind of. He's interesting. I don't know. He puts out like one episode a week. It's like every Sunday. It's pretty interesting. It's Charlie the Duff in America or something. I think is what it is. He's an interesting guy. But him and like Gavin, this is like 7-8 months ago, and they're bringing up all the typical tropes about what they said about Gavin, how he was, in charge of the Proud Boys. He ran them.
Yeah.
Like, all these things. White supremacy, racist stuff. And I was a little shocked by Charlie the Duff because Charlie the Duff has been known to do his research.
Yeah, because a lot of times, but you
really
can't.
Disappointed.
I mean, you can't. I mean, well, I would say this: if you're gonna go have a conversation with somebody, then you should do your homework.
Well,
but there's so many people. There's so many people. There's so many stories. Like it's impossible to do that for everybody. But if you're literally gonna go talk to somebody, maybe about those things in particular, you should probably at least look into it, right?
I mean, he did. It was just mainstream.
That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta go. He knows better than to just read that stuff and take it as rote, right?
I guess so.
I mean, if he's the guy that used to be
like, would you say Gavin McInnes is a white supremacist?
No.
Guy?
No.
Would you say he is a
nationalist? Probably, yeah.
Would you say that Gavin McInnes was a blue-collar upbringing?
I think he was, if I'm not mistaken. He grew up in Canada. His dad was like a mailman or something.
Or something, nice engineer or something.
Or maybe that.
As far as, but like he did not grow up poor. As far as like he went to a good college.
Yeah.
He like is not like some like low class scum.
No. No.
Like he's like most of these people. Most of these people that we meet, that we see, are like honestly, that's with the exception of like someone like Tim Pool. Tim Pool legitimately was a high school dropout.
Yeah, but I don't know much about like his parents or their financial. I don't know anything about that stuff really.
I believe they had a westernized view of America at the time for when he was growing up, that America's the best and all these things. So but they were kind of hitting, and he knew shit. Like I didn't know about Gavin. I was like, oh, I didn't know fucking Gavin went to a liberal arts college and got his fucking blah 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 blah, all paid for by mommy and daddy, and
yeah, he started.
That doesn't make you weak or anything.
No, it doesn't invalidate the things you say, but like, yeah, he is, I think, looked at as like, he had kind of always sold himself as like they call him the godfather of hipsterdom. That was where his whole thing back when he started Vice.
Right.
I mean, he was a hipster. He liked punk rock music. He was like kind of aggressive, drinking Budweiser and fucking chicks and being cool and fast and loose. That was his whole bag. He actually wrote books about it.
Yeah, well, it's surprising to me because Charlie actually worked at Vice for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was after he was ousted, and he kind of like rubs that in his face a little bit. He's like, hey, I worked at Vice. Like, you weren't there because you were a fucking scumbag. Which is probably somewhat true.
Yeah, I think he was a piece of shit, but so is the other guy, the guy that was still there, Shane or whatever. But
Yeah, I think, and this is really what the problem is on all ends of the spectrum, all sides. When did he sell Vice? Was he like, what kind of person was he? What was he doing?
That would have been after he came out as like a conservative guy. Like he got a big payout because he started going on Fox Red Eye. He moved to New York. So it was somewhere in that time period, maybe 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. It was actually, I think, one of the first times he was on Joe Rogan. It was only like a year after he had gotten like paid out by Vice. He got paid out a lot of money. They had to buy him out.
They probably paid 50 million plus easily.
I don't know if it was that much because Vice. I don't know actually what the reach or the financial stability of Vice.
They bought Vice for like, it was crazy. Like it was HBO or whatever. They paid a considerable amount of money.
Yeah, that was after he left too. So their real estate went way up after HBO got involved.
Well, let's just see net worth. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, those things are usually pretty off.
He says 10 to 20 million, so that's not good. Let's do payout. Let's do Vice payout before we go, because it's getting that time. Vice payout. Yes. Let's see, Sean. What do you got? What's your money on?
What his payout was? I'd say like 25 mil, maybe 10, 25 mil.
Man,
it's probably not public information, Dan.
It's like, it's gotta be public. Someone's fucking dug it. He found it in 1994. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like a fanzine thing. It was a very small local thing, and it mostly dealt with fashion and punk music, like local shows and that kind of shit.
So there's multiple reports, but anywhere between 5 to 20 million. He got a few million for sure.
Yeah,
but 5 to 20, which
enough
to go buy a really nice house and a couple nice cars.
I think that was probably right before they kind of really blew up. Vice changed a lot in like 2014 forward.
Yeah, but he made Vice what it was.
Well, Vice,
he gave it that reputation.
No, he gave it the reputation of being edgy and subversive. Like that comes from Gavin McInnes, yes.
And honest. And showing you things that normal media would not show you.
Yeah, well,
that was a big deal.
They were like a tabloid magazine by the time like he left.
But they weren't as politically motivated, were they?
Yeah, they've always been. I don't know, politically motivated is the right way to put it, but they were definitely like.
It's like Project Veritas.
No, because they were just
not in the same way.
No, they weren't out exposing things. They would just highlight things that were taboo, right? And that's still kind of their bread and butter. If you go watch Vice videos on YouTube or whatever, that's still kind of the videos that get the big hits. It's like, go to the dildo factory, go to the sex doll factory. Like, those are the things that people click on.
My God. It is valued at $5.7 billion. That doesn't seem right. But Disney paid $157 million for them in 2018.
Wow. Definitely should have hung on.
No, I think he was forced out, from what it seems like.
Yeah, no, I think he was.
But
he also wasn't there. I don't think he was there anymore. He wasn't very involved in anything. He was just kind of like in name only.
Yeah, he was just like, fuck this, man. I'm done. Bunch of fucking lefties. So you can't trust people when they start making money. And listen, guys, don't trust us when we start making money either. I wouldn't.
Oh my God. You know what we never talked about that we were going to start the show with?
What? Oh,
half of Zoobox they've gotten deep into cryptocurrency.
I wouldn't call it deep.
I'm being facetious.
Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, they put a couple $100 in there basically.
Mike is already panicking. We're gonna talk to him about it on Friday. He's already panicking.
Come join us on Friday, dude, or go listen to on Spotify or, or back on here. Basically crypto dipped and they decided to invest some money, and it's not a great deal of money. It's a few $100s, which I know that's probably a lot to some. It's enough for them where they can still live comfortably and it's not a big impact on their life.
Yeah, it's kind of like the last time, I think it was last week, you and I were talking about crypto a little bit. It's like, don't, like, if people get caught up in this where they think they can like make money
Quick
really
buck.
fast. Quick buck. I'm going to be able to turn this around. Because there's a lot of people that have gotten lucky and have done that. But the vast majority of people don't. So if you're going to get into Bitcoin or any type of crypto, you got to be willing to sit. Like, you'd be willing to invest and sit.
And also, if you're talking about really making money off of something like Bitcoin, you're going to need millions of dollars. Like, you would need to invest millions to make serious
to
money.
make serious money, yeah. But if you
That's
want to
what I'm
just
saying.
make like 10 grand, then you put $500 in and you wait until it goes back up to 60,000 or whatever. It'd be good.
Well, you're not going to make 10. Because if it drops down to 20 and you buy it at 20 every 20,000, it doubles. So you'd go to like 40 is like now your 500 is worth.
No, I'm
1,000.
talking if you're
60
if
is
you're
1,500.
just spending like $500-600.
That's what I just said. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So if you buy in at $20,000 when it's valued at 20,000 or 30, whatever, your $500 will double once it hits 60. I mean, that's or 40, whatever the logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on and so forth, all the way up. So like you could probably at $1 million, the valuation would go up probably to where you make a couple grand, like a couple grand, like five.
I love how the internet, the crypto people immediately turned on Elon Musk. Immediately.
No, it was kind of bullshit. That was some serious bullshit.
This is what I've always been, makes me not skeptical, but it always makes me tepid about how I feel about crypto. Like I said, I even might like throw a couple $100 here and there. I have a friend that he's like, yeah, man, like anytime I get some extra money, I'll throw $100 in and I just let it sit. I'm not trying to pull it out right now. I got a little extra cash. I'll buy some Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? Oh, but I've thought about it. I've thought about doing that and just sitting on it, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is,
that's what I'm talking about. It's so volatile that a guy like Elon Musk, one company could be like, we're not accepting Bitcoin anymore.
well, but today was different. Today was a country. It was China.
Oh, then China followed suit.
No, well, China.
Well, do you think this is part of like they did with like their scheming to make it dip to buy and then get it back up?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Probably. It's probably more of a banking institution thing, so now banks can get in on it cheap.
I should have bought fucking
cheaper.
AMC. Back
Should have
in
bought
January.
Dogecoin. You should have bought Dogecoin.
I thought about Dogecoin just for fuck around, but AMC was down at like $17 in January. I was gonna get some, and then I was like, no, all right. Now it's up to like
Honestly,
$263 right now.
If I miss out on an opportunity like becoming a millionaire because I don't care. I don't know. Like I get it. We are so and this is the part of the trick. Whether it's crypto, people, we are the one financing the billionaires. We're the ones 90 or I think it's true. Something like 80% of all money in the United States that is circulated is because of the middle class and low class. Like we are the ones that push a lot of shit around. Mm-hmm. We are the major consumers. We drive industry. We do all these things. So they rely on people going in and buying at the dip because then they know when it comes back up, it's going to be up even higher because more people are going to be, or whatever. And then another company jumps in when it's at like $34,000 and they buy 750 million of it.
Mm-hmm.
It automatically drives that price up even more. So I'm not a big distrust, but to me, it just goes, you might get lucky.
I want to start like researching like new, cool, weird tech companies that are doing just like throw some money at like 50 different of these startups because you never know. That's honestly, I think that might be the smarter play in some way. Is to kind of take chances on those things because, dude, it's so volatile, and you just see.
No, I think it's the long game, dude. You got to play long game.
No, you got to be like I said, you got to sit. Like you got to be willing to sit on that shit.
Like no, you got to do them. Listen, this is not financial advice. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Look into mutual ETF funds. I think those are like long game, good determining factors as far as go with the flow of the interest rate. You're taxed at 15%. No, after your first year, and you can take it out anytime. It's not like a 401k or a Roth IRA when you got to take out after 65.
Yeah.
You put in couple $100 a month, $100 to $200 a month. You're looking at anywhere $3 to $5 million after 20 years. So it's pretty fair. I mean.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is you should be hoping by the time because you're 35 now. What are you 35?
34, Dan. Thank
34th. Sorry.
No,
34.
I'm
So by the
definitely
time
not.
you're 54, you could have a few million.
Yeah,
and
those are the
take it out, you
things-
get that 15%.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of right now. 'Cause like you said, I'm getting older. It's
Dude,
just like, oh, I want to find a security blanket for the future. But who the
this
fuck
is what I'm
knows
telling
though,
you.
in 20 years?
No, listen. The stock market's not going anywhere, bro. Bitcoin may evolve and people are going to get rich because of it, but the stock market.
You
That's
think
just gonna stay.
aliens are going to allow a stock market, Dan?
Maybe.
No.
Listen,
No, I agree.
listen.
I agree.
I don't know, but I've talked to people, excuse me, that have made a good bit of money, and I have a good friend. He's been doing it since he was like 22. He's 30, almost 30 now.
Yeah.
He's got a good chunk of change.
No, I got a friend who does. I went to high school with, who has been doing it since he was like in his early mid 20s, and that's what he does.
Yeah, but the thing is, but the thing about a mutual ETF is you just put money in and it goes to a fund and they handle it, and you don't have to do anything. You just let them do it, and it's the long game. They just play long. It's just like basically they buy in at Tesla when it hits a certain price, like
Yeah.
$500, but then they sell. They don't sell it until let's say it goes up to like $650. Well, they're like, okay, this is great. But if it stops dropping down below like maybe 600 is their floor now. So every time it goes up, they have a new floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it hits that floor, they sell it automatically, and then you get to reap all the benefit, like the company, all these but they're doing it with obviously millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's people
it
pooling their
works.
money together to have that big. You can invest
like-
big, you can pull out
right.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not against any of these cryptocurrency stuff.
No, me neither.
It's just you do what you want. It's kind of like the new gold rush. I'm sure a lot of people looked at people like you're a fucking moron for going over to California just to find some fucking gold.
Yeah. Well, most.
I mean,
people,
I-
but it's just
again-
like the stock market or Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Most people were like most people didn't find their
most
way,
people are like,
find their riches. But
you go
some
risk
people
that
did.
shit. And guess what? Everybody else still survived, bro. It's okay. You know, like I'm not trying to get rich quick. I'm not trying to do these things. It's just not me. I don't know. Like I just don't. They're like, oh, Dan, throw in $500. I'm like, no. Like, what happens if my like water heater goes out or something? Like, I'm not doing
Well,
that.
exactly.
Right now.
Well,
I'm
that's
sorry.
like people that don't have that kind of extra money to throw around. It's like it becomes a serious.
There was that
thing.
guy in 2014 that sold all of his stuff, and now
I
he's
know.
worth a fuck ton. It is what it is.
Yeah,
like,
but
listen, dude.
that's-
Happy. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
Happy.
so am I.
Happy for him.
So am I.
Good for you, man.
But that guy
Good for
went
you.
through like some real strife.
Oh yeah, dude. When it went to like 30, then down to 10 or 5
Oh, yeah.
or whatever, like I'm sure it was like awful. But he held out and it hit 70 grand almost. So
That was fucking
good for you.
Good God, dude. Fuck, I remember talking to Big Paul, guest of the channel, back in like 2013 about Bitcoin.
Probably $10. Probably $10.
Oh, it wasn't. I don't even think it was
Not
that much, dude.
$2.
And we were just like, dude, because we were talking about mining. We were talking about
Yeah.
mining, and we're like, dude, could we do that? Do you think we could mine?
And you probably could have back then.
Yeah, we didn't follow up on it. Well, even by that time, things had gotten pretty crazy. Like people with the server, like giant server warehouses mining Bitcoin and stuff. I mean, that stuff was going on.
Dude, those guys must be worth fucking stupid money. Right?
Yeah, they're out in like Taiwan and fucking Malaysia.
Living in goddamn mansions with armed security guards, fucking chilling, banging ladyboys and regular girl, like doing it all.
Oh, when you got
Good
that kind of
times.
money, you couldn't have the real thing, yeah. Unless you like ladyboys, but
No, you just might like ladyboys. Though. You can just do whatever you want.
the world is your oyster.
You know, like even in Thailand, probably even kids.
Ladyboys on the reg, regular
That's one of the
girls
world's
on the reg.
largest pedophile like destinations in the world is Thailand or Malaysia or one of those two.
Yeah,
Bangkok, because
they just don't check that stuff really. No.
I don't know. Hey, I ain't gonna go out on that note because I gotta pee and
All right,
smoke.
everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Zoobox Live. We'll be back next Wednesday, 9:30, 10, depending on what everything's going on.
Yeah, it's usually me. Sorry guys, Jiu-Jitsu. I usually it's probably gonna be 10 for most part. Tonight got cancer.
Yeah, so probably 10 o'clock next Wednesday, same place, having some goofs, some gaffes. We've covered a lot of territory tonight, and we'll cover some more next week.
Whoever is
Also,
watching, thank you.
yeah, thank you for watching. We do appreciate it. Also, Friday, we record the regular podcast. Usually goes up Friday night, Saturday morning, and then Monday nights, go to our D Live if you want to watch Nightcap live. If you want to watch it as it's happening, as it's occurring in real time, and talk in the chat, you got to go over to D Live, but we archive it over here on our YouTube channel for now. Until it is Nightcap is a problem because of copyright strikes.
Copyright.
But anyways, thanks everybody. All right. Goodbye.
Hey.